welcome back to my channel. Just wanted to do a quick video on my favorite places to stick diabetes things, for lack of a better description. For those who don't know, I have had type 1 diabetes since 1988, so going on 33 years this year, quite a while, but anyway, let's get started. Now, because I did multiple daily injections up through 2018 and was doing finger stick testing from 1988 to 2018, I'll just briefly go over my favorite fingers to use. Yes, that's a thing. And my favorite places to do insulin injections, just so we have that on the record for those who still do insulin injections and finger stick testing. I understand not everybody has access to a CGM or an insulin pump. Not everybody wants to wear those. So, without further ado, the fingers that I learned on were my ring fingers. So if I'm absent-mindedly doing a blood test, I usually go on my ring fingers. Honestly, the three fingers at the end of my left hand are the ones that are most likely to be used, more so than the right hand. For a while, I was trying to use my index finger and my thumb. I find those two hurt a little bit more, so I don't use them quite as often. I know some people do blood tests in their forearm. I tried that a couple times, didn't really like it, so not a place that I would use or used to use, except for those two times. Now, as far as insulin injections go, I mentioned in a previous video, I have a lot of scar tissue in my abdomen because that was a big place for me to do my insulin injections, regardless of whether, you know, if you're wearing a sweater or a t-shirt or something else, some sort of separate clothing item. It's pretty easy to just lift the top up, do the injection in the abdomen, put the top down, you're good to go. Pretty easy to do that without drawing too much attention to what you're doing, so that was usually my go-to spot. I would also use my forearms and my calves a lot. In fact, my left calf has a bit of swelling on it from all of the injecting of insulin. I use that a little bit too much as a side, so to this day when I go to get my podiatry appointment done, they're always like, "Oh, your calf looks really swollen. Is it injured? Do we need to x-ray it?" And I'm like, "It's an insulin injection thing. Don't worry about it." So anyway, yeah. Thankfully, I don't use my calves or my forearms for any of my current sites. I guess I could use my forearms or my calves for Dexcom, but I just don't. It's not really something I would want to do. Plus I kickbox, so wouldn't really be that good to have them that low down on my appendages. Now, as far as my Dexcom goes, I usually use the upper part of my arm from about this point over to here. I don't really use the back of my arm too much. I know if you live in the UK, the back of the arm is okay, but honestly, I've tried the back of the arm. It just hurts like crazy, so I usually use the front or the side, like I do on my current Dexcom site, or I use the other arm, again, kind of front and side, upper arm. Also on occasion, I will use my upper thighs kind of on the front. I find I get really accurate readings there, more so in the summer months than the winter months. I don't know if it's because I'm wearing thicker layers and I'm kind of tall, so obviously the side is going to be a little bit farther away from any item that's going to be receiving readings. So maybe between the thick layers and the fact that it's a bit farther away, that just is what causes so many issues in the winter months. But yeah, to mix things up in the summer, I will use my front thighs to do a bit of side rotation. As far as my insulin pump goes, I had previously been using my abdomen quite a bit, but as I mentioned, scar tissue, absorption started to really be a problem there, so cannot use my abdomen anymore. I use my outer thighs kind of like on my sides from about here down. I will use on the outside of my body, and then on my back from about that point down to just below my waistband. Stopping at about right there. So I could probably go a little bit lower on the butt. However, I just choose not to. So those are my main insulin pump sites. I actually prefer to keep it kind of closer to my hip. Right now it's on my upper thigh, like real close to my hip, right below where the leg connects to the hip. And yeah. Oh, I also use the back of my arm periodically for my insulin pump sites. I normally only use my arm for my insulin pump sites during the summer months. It's kind of the reverse of the Dexcom, which I will only use my thighs during the summer months. I only use my arms for my insulin pump, again, during the summer months, because if you're going to wear an armband, it's a little easier to get to the pump. If you're in a short sleeve shirt and, you know, if you have it looped to your sports bra, reach down on a t-shirt a little bit more easily than you can through a sweater or a sweatshirt, especially if you have a turtleneck on. So that's what's up with that. But anyway, yeah, feel free to let me know where you wear your insulin pumps or CGMs, or where you like to give your insulin shots. And yeah, like, subscribe, and all that. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.